Welcome, family. This is the family tree, and I want to welcome you into the house. Lay around the tree so we can talk about what's going on in this world. All right. I want to say it is a pleasure, and I'm going to switch back over here, Big B.
All right, buddy.
All right. I hope everybody's doing well.
Hey, everybody.
First of all, just give yourselves a hand for showing up. Everybody give yourselves a hand for showing up.
That's right.
Put your hands together.
Y'all.
All right. I'm joining the family tree. Good to see fresh faces. And for those that are coming in for the very first time, this is the family tree, and we try to make it a place where you can bring all your questions, concerns, and the cares of the world, but we do it from a holistic perspective: spirit, mind, and body in that order. And we believe that you feed the body corrects itself 11 times faster. Ain't God good, huh? Ain't that awesome? That's some good odds, boy, I tell you. So that means we got to find out where the imbalances are. So sometimes there's spiritual, mental, physical, things like that. Spirit, mind, and body. You got to check yourself every day. Let a man examine himself. Let a woman examine herself, so that we can keep ourselves in check. All right. So we're going to start off.
Mute yourself, guys. Make sure.
Make sure you mute yourself. We're going to start off today, and before we do that, I want to shift on over to my co-host with the mostest. That is Bill 1L Morgan. Let's get Bill one hand there. Give him a hand.
Hey.
Bill makes it happen on this side, and when things, somebody, I'm echoing on somewhere. Someone echoing. Come on, echoing. Mute yourself, family. When Bill makes it happen, he posts these pages and the shows that we have on the websites. He edits them down. He does all the jobs. So, Big B, thank you so much for all you do, my brother. How you doing today? You all right?
Look, for a young brother, what can I tell you?
For a young brother, that's right.
Daddy said, "Yo, Big Bill, get up." Okay, Papa, I got this. I gotta go today.
Yep. Make sure you mute yourself, family. Mute yourself. All right, Big B, tell us what's going on in the world. We're going to start off with you today.
All right.
And what's going on in the world? You go to our favorite website. What's our favorite website today?
Our favorite website, as always, Dr. Paul, is NCOV. That's Encode 2019.live. That's NCOV 2019.live. And also, guys, even before I go here, let me just remind you that each and every week when I put these things up, remember, look, the videos. Let me always remind you the videos, because I've gotten some questions when I've gotten requests for for the chat each week. Where can I find the videos? The videos are on Dr. Paul on what? Dr. Paul Health Network. Okay. Go on Facebook and join that group, and you'll be able to find all the videos each week. Once we finish them here, I've edited them, we put them all up, and I usually get them up by Friday. So just do yourself a favor, take a look there, and you'll find all the videos from there way back. Just go in, I guess they're in your individual, either in the albums or just in the videos, right? They should all be in the video section. So just go and take a look there.
Yep, all the archives for everything is right there and right in front of you, so you can see all the shows. If you have something and you say, we talked about something about a specific herb or a condition, we try to focus on those. You can go back and on those pages and just listen to the whole thing. I always say, grab a pen and pad before you start doing anything.
Exactly. And also remember, I by the way, guys, just Dr. Paul doesn't even know this yet. That is, I'm working real hard on getting that YouTube channel up so we can have everything that go directly to the Health Network on the YouTube.
There you go.
Everything that we've gotten here, all that's been in one place, put it all in one place there so to be able to have it. Okay. So look, I'm trying to make sure I get my black hair back by putting all that stuff.
We got to earn for that, man. We got to earn for that.
All right,
it's all circulation, man. All circulation, man.
Hallelujah. Okay, here we go, guys. Our quick fact as of 10 minutes ago. Total confirmed cases around the world, guys, 189,108,100. Those are the total confirmed cases around the world. Total critical cases, here we go, 79,192. Total deceased cases, 4,073,513. Total active cases, now remember this, along with the one that's recovered. Total active cases, 17,662,297. Total recovered. Here we go. Drum roll, guys. Here we go. All right. Total recovered cases around the world, guys, 171,035,500. That's what's up. Mental health moment, guys.
Wow.
Come on. from 189 million to 171 million.
Mm.
That's what's
Yes, yes,
up.
family.
I hope you're paying
Those are
attention,
real
guys.
numbers. Get the
Yes,
real numbers, get the real
yes,
facts.
that's
Here
what's
we
up.
are talking about people that are, it's very evident right there.
Mm-hmm.
171 million people have
Yes,
actually come through this thing and have had been diagnosed and actually come through it. So you can do this. This is something that's based on that immune system. That's why we speak about that so much.
yes,
You know, People are saying, well, if you feel like you're being judged at, when people say, well, whether you want to do it this way or go the route of taking a vaccine, whatever the situation is, it's going to come back to the immune system every time.
yes, yes,
So,
yes,
why not build the system? Why not live a better, healthier life? Why not start to think clearer? You look better. Do y'all know y'all
yes,
look
yes.
better? Some of y'all, when
Well,
y'all take them herbs and y'all come back the
well,
next time, I say, you know what? It's something about you now. You got a little glow. And some of y'all say, you might go and the people around you will tell you first. Anybody had a
I know
situation
that's
like
right.
that? They go
I
around and
know that's
say,
right.
girl, what you doing? Man, what you
Mm-hmm.
doing? Man, you look a little different. Yeah, and you say nothing. What you doing? Nothing. I'm just,
Boy.
I guess I'm just beautiful. I guess.
Well, I'm not.
You
I'm not
doing
going
the
there. I'm not.
birds.
I'm gonna leave that one alone. By the way, somebody put in the chat that my volume is low. Can you hear me better? Can you hear me all right now? Can
It's
you
a
hear
little
me?
muffled. Just a little
A
muffled.
little muffled.
Right there, right there. That
Right
sounds a
there.
little better right there.
Okay.
Maybe it was just a little close.
Yeah.
Okay.
Let's see what I'm gonna tell you. Okay.
Yeah, I think
Okay.
that's good right there.
Okay.
I think you're
Very good.
good.
You got it.
Yeah.
All right.
Okay. Thank you, Big B.
Sure, man.
Appreciate you, man.
Always. Always.
What we're gonna do today, I want to go into talking about some good stuff. I want to have, if you have a question or concern, you can join the chat and the conversation. Look down to your reaction section bar
Yeah. There you
at
go.
your lower bottom. Click on there, hit your hand, raise your hand, ask a question. There's no dumb questions, y'all. Y'all hear
That's
that? No
exactly
dumb
right.
questions.
Yes.
Only
Yes. Yes.
questions that are dumb were the ones that you didn't ask. So we want to try to get a hold of you. Also, if you are online or you're on the phone and we cannot hear you, try to mute yourself, family. Try to mute yourself. But when you only want to come live and ask a question, try to put the question out there that let us know you're on the phone and we'll try to get to you, okay? Also, we have a chat box. We got a chat box. If you have a chat box or you want a question or you just want to drop your question into the chat box, you can do that. And Big B over there or Prophetess over there. Prophetess, you over there? Yes, she's
Yeah,
over there. That's
I see.
Fingers.
I see the fingers. I see the
Fingers is
fingers.
over there.
Magic
Yep.
fingers.
She's Magic Fingers over there.
Prophet has
She'll
saved my
try to
humps a lot. I love it.
she's she's going to be putting data in the form of the chat box so that
Yes.
later on you can get a transcript of what's going
Yes.
on.
Yep.
All right, Big B. So tell
Yes,
them how they
sir.
can get that transcript and give them that email of how they can send it to you and you can get it over to them.
Hey guys, this is what it looks like. Okay. And by the way, it comes in. There's a whole bunch of pages, but we make sure that everything that was said, if we get an answer to it or not, all the stuff is right there between prophets and I. We're trying to put it all together. All right. You want to make sure you get me an email on that. The contact is meccavideo@gmail.com. I'm going to put it in the chat box. It's MECCAVIDEO at gmail.com. Again,
Excellent.
Mecca
Excellent.
Video. That's MECCAVIDEO at gmail.com. And all you have
All
to say
right.
is chat for whatever that
All
is.
right.
All right.
Sounds good to
There
me,
we
Big
go. All
B.
right.
All
All
right.
right.
All right. So do you have any questions on the chat right now that
Yeah,
we
man,
can
I
start
got
off
a
first
good one
with?
right here. First off, one of the topics is my son tried to get a job and they wouldn't interview him because he wasn't vaccinated. Is that legal?
I
Oh,
tell you, here's the
that's a
situation,
biggie.
family. This is a big one. This is a big one. If you have a new job or you have a present job you're in, situation, or you have if you're going to school, they're really intensifying the ability for you to now. They want you to all be vaccinated because it makes all the corporations, whether it's a medical facility like a hospital, or your job, or if you are in the care services of health, they want to make sure that you're vaccinated because it just looks good. Okay, it looks right. But ultimately, you got to look back at, is this a violation of your rights as a human
Right.
rights? You have the right to opt out. And right now, this is a vaccine for what's considered emergency use only. So right now, We don't know if it's going to ever go to the point where it's actually mandatory, but right now you have a right to opt out. Write that down. Opt out, OPT, opt out. But you must declare your position.
Yes.
And usually, yeah, they don't have the right to hire you because, that's something else. But if you're in a job that's an existing job, no matter what the profession, you have a right to declare your position. Well, what is declare your position? That means you have to prepare a document to give them, for whatever state you live in. There's what's called option out clauses. Now, most states have what's called both medical and religious exemptions. Got it? Medical and religious exemption. You can go to your website, to your state, find out what is the recommendation for that, whether school, for, if you're at your job or something, you have to declare your position. That means that you have to give them a document. People say, well, they told me I'm going to get fired. Yep, you probably going to get fired. And they say, well, they're going to kick my son out or my daughter out of school. Yep, they're going to do that unless you declare your position. See, a part of this whole concept goes back to the United Nations. Back in the United Nations, there was a time that there was the indigenous people of the United Nations that went and they were being discriminated around the world. So they were like, well, how can you have these people in your country and you can't practice what their culture is? So these people got together, and this is an indigenous fraction of the United Nations. And they got together and said, well, we have to create a fraction of this that actually does not infringe upon the rights of the people and their culture. That's a form of discrimination. So if they had a religious thing, the concept was they put it together and they passed it on the UN. And it's part of now what's called the Sanitary Act. Okay, Sanitary Act. Sanitary Act is part of usually it was back probably in the 40s. I believe this is part of the original doctrines of the United Nations back in the 40s. But I think this one happened a little bit later after that. So what does it mean? It just means that they stood on the ground that if you break the skin, you increase the chances of infection. Would you understand that? Because if you break the skin, in most religions, you've now defiled the temple. And now you have the ability to actually create an infection. So now that would consider in most these cultures of religion unholy. And that's what they stood on. So with that same concept, anyone connected to the United Nations says that they have the rights of refusal, but they must declare their position. So in the United States, we are connected to the UN. We have a seat on the Security Council. We're part of the development of the UN. So what that means is that if you are in most of the states here in the United States, there's only a few states that do not recognize medical and religious exemptions. That's California. Write them down. California. That's New York City or New York, Mississippi, West Virginia. Those are the four. Now, New Jersey was a pending situation right now. It's kind of going back and forth because you got a lot of people that are really fighting over that side. So they have a bill in order, and they kind of shot it down a couple of times. It came back up. So it's back and forth right now. So what does it mean? That means that you have a right to do something, but you have to declare your position. So what does that mean? You have to write a document. The document has to be based on, I exercise my right to, in this case, if it's a medical exemption, you can do a medical, but you got to have a doctor to prove that whatever your situation is, that for whatever reason, you can't have this specific, if it's a shot or whatever it is, the specific thing, whether it's COVID-19 or a regular vaccine. The one that really most people take is the religious exemption, because that's the one we're talking about where you defile the temple. So you would just have a document and it would say, I choose to opt out based on strong religious conviction. That's the terminology right there. Strong religious conviction. And then when you declare that position, usually your job, if you're at a job, they'll then come back to you and say, okay, we have a document for you to sign. Wait a minute. You mean you didn't tell me you had a document from the beginning? Yep, you had a document at the beginning, because they know it's a human right. Okay? So that's what I would say to that situation. You have to declare your position. Now, if you are looking for a website to get some of this information and knowledge from, you can go to what's called Vaccination Liberation. It's a website,
Yep.
vaclib.org.
It's already in the chat, Dr. Paul.
Yep, got it.
It's right there in the chat, guys.
Yep, go right to the chat and you can see it.
Just
Okay,
click on
go on
it. Right
there,
there.
get the information. You can go state by state and see the changing laws, and they do keep them up to date. So if you have a child that's going into a school that's in another state, they even have sample letters that you can
Yes, of
actually
course.
provide. And if there's also letters for employers, that you can have. So really, it's just keeping things in perspective right now. There's a lot going on right now. Of course, you all heard that there's another recall with J&J. There's a lot going on with what's called the side effects with myocarditis, which is actually for children or young folks under the age of, actually young folks, period, up to about 35, 40 years old, believe it, that are having myocarditis, which is actually a form of inflammation of the heart. So that's starting to raise a really concern. Clotting has always been a problem. It's just going on and on and on. So as things start to develop, you're going to start to see a lot of changes. But for right now, you have the ability to opt out. Okay, but you must declare your position. You got it? All right.
Okay.
All right, Big B.
You got
Anything
one
else
here
on
says,
that?
yeah, okay. Can you tell me what to do about Baker cyst behind the knee to get rid of it and
Yeah.
having pain in the knee in the
Oh,
front?
I tell you what,
Need
hold that
vitamins?
question because that's going exactly into what I'm talking about
All
today.
right.
I
Okay.
found a great on something on. I don't want to play this video today. I found a woman who actually does a great, very simple lymphatic drainage of the body.
Oh
She
wow.
goes from the top of the head to the toes. I mean, she does a great version of it, and I think it's something that everyone could appreciate. So at some point this evening, I'm going to play this video and just I want you to absorb the information. We've talked about a lot of the lymphatic system as a secondary circulatory system. This is the
Mm-hmm.
system that's draining the system of toxins in the body. But right now, it's not moving. People are clotting up. Why? Because of the food, the processed foods, no sunshine, no exercise. Everybody's got a mask on. You're getting clotted up. You're backing up.
Mm-hmm.
All of this stuff causes pollutants in the body. So therefore, the body says, I can't get rid of it. So how am I going to get rid of it? You got to start moving this stuff out of here because this secondary circulatory system only moves when you move. Got
Right.
it? So you
Mm-hmm.
got to get the moving, y'all. You got to get the body moving. You got to make sure that you're getting a daily form of exercise. So I'm going to show that at some point in time, but definitely the cyst, Baker cyst, right in back of the legs. Yes, all those things have everything to do with a backed up lymphatic system, things draining or not draining properly in the system. So we'll go over that whole piece at some point in time. Okay, B? So we're going to come back to that one.
All right, you got it. Okay.
All right. I'm going to go up to my questions here, and I got Karam. Karam, you first in line today, buddy. How you doing?
Excuse me, hold on. Excuse me, Dr. Paul.
Yes.
Hello, this. I'm on the phone.
Where
So this
you
is
been?
Brother Farouk.
Who is
This
this?
is
Who
Brother
is this?
Farouk.
Wait a minute, Dr.
This is
Paul,
Brother
don't even
Farouk,
answer.
man.
Wait, Dr. Paul, don't say nothing. Where you
Look,
been? I'm getting in this business.
boy,
Where
I've
you
been
been,
there.
Farouk?
Oh my God,
You didn't ask nobody to
I've been
take
doing.
time off.
Oh no, you know what? I've been going through a little transition, but God is
Okay, we
good.
got just
God is
messing with you,
good.
man.
God
How
is
you doing?
good. How you doing, my brother? Karam, I'll come right back to you. Go ahead, brother. Go ahead, Farouk. What's up,
Oh
man?
yeah, man. I've been going through the little transition, and also my holistic life has really improved, and I've
Good.
learned the male and female principle within the testosteronic side of things and the estrogenic side of things.
All right.
Mm.
All right.
I've also learned and picked up the knowledge of with it, all that you eat. You have to be mindful that it can produce estrogen. So, and it has to do with male and female principle. So, if you're a male, you should eat more foods that produce testosterone, such as blueberries, and most berries are for men. And be careful of the sugar because I've learned that they're adding things to our bananas as well, and they're saying it's organic, but you have to make sure it's certified as well.
Mhm.
So I've
Yeah.
learned that.
Okay, brother. All
Yeah.
right,
All right,
man.
man. That's
Well,
what's
I
on.
would say
Yeah.
this. I would say this. Remember, when you're eating food, plants are balanced. They're balancing the male and the female principle. That's why
Yes.
when the plant is alive, that's why we know it's healthy. When a plant is healthy, then you're going to eat from a healthy plant, right?
Yes.
You
Yes.
know
Right. Right.
when the fruit when something does not bear good fruit, you know that plant is sick. That's out of
What
balance.
about Isn't there certain foods that are like specifically on herbs as well that
Right.
men should? Yeah.
Well,
That's,
here's the thing. Excuse me.
mm-hmm.
You definitely
Yeah.
are on point with what you said. You said some are male principle, some are female. But here's the thing. This is what you got to remember. Remember, that's what
Mm,
herbs do. They either speed up, slow
mm,
down, or balance you
mm,
out. That's exactly what
mm,
they do. So, foods
mm.
that speed you up, which one would that be? Male or female? Come on, y'all, real
Oh,
fast. Come on,
that's
real fast.
male.
Female.
Male.
Female.
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 Okay.
Female.
Female.
Okay,
Speed you
now
up.
I want to say this. Think about this before you answer, because y'all all over the place.
I
All
know it's
right,
male.
remember, speed up or slow down.
Female.
One's male, one's female. Remember, what's the male principle? Male principle is what? Go.
Yes.
Go. It speeds
Go.
up.
Got it? So
Yep.
female is stop.
Stop.
Slow
Got it?
down.
Yep.
Got it? So if
Yep.
you walking, the leg that's moving forward, that's the male principle. Female
Yeah.
stop, that's the leg that's balancing, right? And when you go to
Right.
the other side, that's the same thing. So it's male, female,
Mm,
male, female.
mm,
See how that's going? On, off, on,
mm.
off. When you hit the on switch, what is that, male or female?
Oh, that's male.
Right. Anything
On.
on, moving, fast, tear down, destruction, lack of
Male.
Mm.
Male principle.
heat,
Oh, breakdown.
male
Oh,
principle.
yeah.
That's male principle. Got it?
Yes, Lord. Yes.
Female
Mm.
is what?
The
Balance,
opposite.
right? Stop.
Balance. Yep.
Right, right.
Stop. Yep.
Nurturing, right?
Nurturing.
Nurturing,
Yeah.
feeding. You got it? That's
Mm-hmm.
what a female is. Slow, progression, creativity, imagination. That's the female.
Yes, Lord.
Y'all got all the good stuff,
Mhm.
man. You know,
And
we
then
the
not
one
even
tear-
just that.
we the
Doc.
one tearing everything up.
Well,
It's not
So-
even. Well, that's not even just that. It's like even like when you eat oranges and things like that. You got to recognize that you it has to be in balance because that female estrogen and the estrogen comes out in the male because a male is designed to work and go hard at it anyway. But there goes when you're trying to utilize you clean your blood out, then you need to take things everything's in balance. I've learned, but
Right.
it's also you can't meet more male things. I mean female things because like certain fruits, a lot of people don't understand that the molecules in that thing can turn your whole DNA around.
Right.
So you got to
So
be mindful of that as
right.
well.
So you're exactly the same point. But remember what
Yes.
when you state male principle is more falls on the acidic side. You got it?
Mhm.
Remember?
Yes,
Male
yes,
principle
yes,
falls on the acidic side. So
yes.
who's the greatest balancer? We are. We are the balancers.
Mm.
We are the generators. We are the
I love
power
it.
sources. We are the nuclear reactors, the refiners.
Mm.
We
Mm.
convert. So anything you
Mm.
put in your body, you shouldn't be eating anything unless you can convert it into energy. If it's already been
Mm.
converted into energy, then you have
Oh.
just lost because it's now dead, aka
Yeah.
already processed. You got me?
Oh my God.
So that's
Yes.
why
Oh my
you
God.
gotta
Doc,
stay.
And
You
Doc,
got.
have you ever, excuse me, Doc, have you ever heard of test before?
I can't hear you. You're breaking up. What did you say?
I'm sorry, test. You ever heard of test? It's a grain and it's electric. It's it's an alkaline food. As far as and kamut
Yeah.
and things like that.
Yeah, absolutely. So you have a lot of foods that are the earth because remember they're pulling from the
Mm.
earth, but they're in balance though. They have their principles. Some will give you stimulation and move. Some will slow you down. Someone will keep you balanced. So it's based on
true.
where you are and what your needs are.
yes.
That's the
indeed.
key.
Mm.
Got it? That's where it is.
Yo, that's what I learned. That's true.
It's based on your needs. So you got sometimes you'll have somebody with more male principle than female principle. And then you have some
Yeah.
that have more female principle than male principle.
There you go. There
So
you go.
that's why the herbs
Yeah.
have their way of doing things. You have the
Mm.
you have the antiseptics, that disinfect. You have the astringent.
Mm-hmm.
The astringents are
Yes.
what draws out. That's what pulls things out of your body. Then you have the bitters. The bitters. You remember the bitters,
Oh,
right?
God. Oh, my
You
God.
also got the calmatives. The calmatives. Somebody writing this down. This is let me get this.
Karen's got his fingers going. I know he's writing it down.
Calmatives, right? And then you got those with they call the cathartics. The
Yes.
cathartics are like the laxatives and the purgatives. Those are the things that push the stuff out of your body. And then one of my favorite is the demulcents. The demulcents are the ones like the slimy mucus stuff. That's like the okra,
Yes.
or the
Yes.
slippery elm. Those are the things that pull that stuff and junk out of your body. That's what the sea moss is. Sea moss is a form of a demulcent. That's why everybody loves it, because it's pulling all that crap out of you. You got me?
That's true.
You got the
And Doc,
And wait a minute, I got one. I got a few more. There's a diaphoretic and there's diuretics. You remember those?
Yes, water.
Yep, yep. There you got it. The ones that move and stimulate water. So you got a lot going on here. And that's why you have to find the herb that's best for you. They say, well, what's the best herb? The best herb is the one that's best for you. You got it?
Wow.
yeah, yeah.
All right. All right, Brother Farouk. I've been sending people to you, man, for that coffee, man.
Oh, yeah. And Khadija, I wanted to thank God for you because Khadija did call. She thought she was calling for a chiropractor. I said, oh, no.
No.
I said,
Okay.
Dr. Paul sends people my way, but continue, man. And
Okay,
also,
all right, brother. All right. Well, if you are looking for that Ganoderma coffee, that's Farouk over there, Farouk Washington. Give him your number, brother. I know your number's right
it'll
there
be-
on the
yeah, of
screen.
course,
Is it
that's right, it'll be
267?
461
6091.
6091.
Yeah, if you want that Ganoderma, which is an alkaline, what kind of coffee is that? Alkaline
It's an
coffee.
alkaline
There
coffee.
you go. Thank you, brother. I
Amen.
appreciate you, man. You
You're
have a
welcome,
good day,
brother.
all right? I'm glad you chimed
God
in.
bless you.
All right.
All right.
All
Okay,
right.
guys, please, everyone else, please mute your phones because it's coming through. Okay,
Yeah.
Dr. Paul, go ahead.
Okay. So, Karam, brother Karam, let's go back to you, brothers. Thank you for waiting there, brother. How you
No
doing?
problem. Yeah, I'm excellent. How's everyone?
All right.
Good,
All right.
good.
All right. Question. I'm getting in line with brother Bill here with the copper vessel that I hear you talking about. So I
Oh,
bought,
good.
so I bought me a copper pitcher with
Wow.
some
Okay.
copper glasses.
Okay.
And I'm going to see if that works. Now, one question is there's all copper and then there's copper with nickel plating inside. Should you do away with the nickel plating and go
Yeah,
all
no
copper?
nickel plating.
Yeah,
Yeah, no
just
nickel plating. Just try
full
to get
copper.
as much of a copper as possible.
Yes.
See, the higher the copper, the higher the remember, copper is a great transducer. It actually sends signal, from one point to the other. That's why people have copper wiring with, like radios and stuff like that, and speaker wire, because it sends a proper signal without losing a lot of the voltage. So, or the signal. So what I would just say is just try to get it as pure as copper as you can. And for those that are listening that have no idea what he's talking about, this is when we take a little of the water, a good water, and you put it in a copper vessel. And what happens is you catch a little bit of that copper ion. And from that copper ion, you can actually start to increase circulation in you, because that increases circulation and transmission. So one of the phenomena that happens with that is that people, when they have gray hair, it usually starts on top. That's because it's not an issue of just getting old. It's a circulatory issue. And it's usually a lack of copper in the body. That's usually what got it. So usually it's copper. So if you increase the level of copper, you start to see that white hair turn black again, like black.
You better watch yourself. You better watch yourself. I gotta get my scalp
Ooh.
back first.
Oh goodness, yes.
It's okay.
So I'm gonna tell you now. I'm gonna tell you. I've had some guys come in. I had a brother that came in. His whole arm. He was a hairy arms, and
Wow.
he had all great arms. He came in one day to the men's group. He said, "Look at my arm, man." I said, "What's going wrong with it?" He said, "Ain't nothing wrong with it. It's all black again." Wow.
Uh-huh.
So a lot of it has to do with circulation sometimes, you
Yes,
don't have
yes,
the ability to push up. Remember, if
yes.
you ever seen like a guy at the beach, right? You'll see a guy with his shirt off and from the chest on up is gray, but on the chest on down is black. So what's going
Yes,
on with that? That's because the heart has to push higher up. And
yes,
that's
yes, yes.
circulation. You got it?
Mm-hmm.
That's the reason why you see
Okay.
the difference. Okay. So Karen,
Yeah.
All right. Well, I'm working on it. I want to see if this works for me. It's for the purpose of trying to turn gray hair black again. So
mm-hmm.
it's just an experiment. I'm gonna try. And,
Maybe if you get on that teeter totter at the same time, that may really happen. You
well,
turn upside down.
And upside down, and it all pushed down.
it's
That
an
would be
inversion.
good. That'd
It's
be a
an
good
invert.
experiment. That would be a good experiment to see
Man, we
how that
both need to
works.
do that
It's
upside
not
down.
a teeter totter. It's an inversion table.
It's a teeter totter. No, we got. No, we kidding. No,
So Dr. Paul,
Yes,
okay.
that's the
would
queen.
that also be good for thinning hair?
Well, thinning hair, yes, because remember, it's all nutrients to the scalp, to the actual hair follicles. When you can't get the melanin to the actual cells itself, that's why the hair falls out. That's why it gets thin. There are other issues that can be happening too with the thyroid, because the thyroid is weight, temperature, and pressure. So if you got
Yeah.
issues with weight, temperature, and pressure, and you got a little thickness around the neck, usually that's when the thinning of the hair happens. They get really thin. Sometimes you get spots in the hair, or sometimes you'll see you'll just see very thinness. But when people start taking the green drink, they start taking the copper vessel with the good water, they start to notice the thickness of the hair starts to get strong again. So it's very, very possible. Very, very possible to bring it all back. All right. All right, Cam, you had another question over there, buddy?
Yeah, I did. Okay, thinning hair. All right, so that's two things I work on with that copper vessel. Gray and thicker hair. So
Okay.
the second issue is the green drinks, and I want to be clear on this.
Yes.
Yeah.
You say green drink is your multivitamin.
Yes, it is.
You can continue to take that.
Yes,
Correct.
that is correct. Yeah.
Even when you're doing a colon cleanse.
Even when you're doing the colon cleanse. See, the whole purpose of the green drink is that it can drive to hold the voltage in the system. That's like we sitting here right now. And if the lights, like if you're in your house right now, and then the lights keep going on and off, you can't get nothing done. You're like, the lights is off again. Oh my goodness, we gotta wait till the lights come on. When he gonna eat something? You got me? So what's happening? People tend to be like this, as opposed to being like this. You got it? So it holds the voltage, holds the charge in the body. That's what the pH is, the potential for hydrogen. Hydrogen is the greatest source of energy in the universe. So when you grab the greatest source, which is anything green, that's what the green drink is. That's the alfalfa. I tried to grab the stuff that actually is the most powerful of the earth.
Oh yeah.
Alfalfa, spinach, turmeric, beets, stuff that grows
Kelp.
deep. Then on the other side, you got the sea vegetables: kelp, chlorella, spirulina,
Yeah.
Irish moss or sea moss, and then the purple dulse seaweed. So all together, that's everything you need for a day. So you just got to get it in. Because remember, if you are somebody that's living in this northern hemisphere, you got something else hitting you every day that nobody else on this planet hits. And that's the emissions from pollution, the airports, the electromagnetic fields that we have to deal with. All that stuff is slamming against your cells constantly, and you don't even know it. And that's why you have to keep on cleaning yourself and raising that pH, because it's affecting your liver, it's affecting your organs, and ultimately your blood. So that's why we got to keep the blood clean.
Right. And
I have a
I've
question
been
on the green.
taking, I've been, I've been taking the Candida cleanse.
Candida. Mm-hmm.
Candida cleanse. Because I'm down here in Florida. So I have a fraternity brother who owns a pharmacy. So I went to him for some things. Originally green drink, and I finished that. But then I ordered from Philly yours.
Okay.
And they shipped me 4 containers a couple of weeks ago. And Candida cleanse, I have about a week left of that. And then I ordered the Eliminator, which I bought. I didn't know that Wayne Avenue, is that the correct Eliminator?
That's not my Eliminator.
No, it's not yours, but it says the Eliminator, and it talks about toxins, fats, intestinal invaders, congestion, and waste. Draw it out, collect it, and flush it away. But you know, that was before I ordered the green drink from Wayne Avenue and had it shipped to me and whatnot. So I figured go through this process.
Sure, you're going well, right? Because when you talk about Candida, that's yeast, and that's a big problem. People are having a lot of yeast issues. You know, yeast is definitely, you're creating the culture for, in an acid environment, it creates the culture for that stuff to breed. And that's what more people have than anything is the Candida. You know, so we got to rid that out of the gut. But number one, staying off the, you know, we say to watch the dairy, no dairy, acid forming foods, refined sugar, refined salt, refined oils. Got it? Fermentation, fermented foods. See, all these things are what has been traditionally added to our culture and our regular diet. So it's like people say, well, wait a minute, what? I can't eat nothing no more. That's because you've been traditionally cultured. That's what's been put in your face. You got it? It's all about the preparation. For those who are preparing natural foods, y'all know exactly what I'm saying. It's all in the preparation. You got to start to change your diet based on what you're thinking. You got it? Transformation happens by the renewing of your mind. So you got to get into other things that are speaking life. You got to eat life too. That means you can't eat nothing dead. And that's what this cultural American diet is. It's dead. So you're putting dead in you, and that's what you get, dead, nothing. So, yeah, Candida is, what's in that formula, by the way, with the Candida formula?
It has oregano leaf extract, acrylic acid, lactobacillus.
Ooh, be very, very careful with that one.
Protease, cellulase, aloe vera leaf gel.
There's the one that there's one there, back up to lactose bacillus, okay? That's actually been used as a probiotic. And I understand what people are trying to do, but that's again trying to be probiotic when we should be prebiotic. You create the probiotic to break that down. You got it? So watch the lactose bacillus. Some people will have a problem with that. That supports, you know, it's a bacteria, it's a form of a bacteria that actually supports, a lot of people say it supports good bacteria, but remember what it does. That's a fermentation, though. You got to be careful. I would not put that in a formula, and that's because people. I had some, you know, people. I have a large amount of people that are calling me lately saying that they're having an overgrowth of bacteria, and guess what it is? Lactose bacillus. You got it. So I would not mess with that one if you try to get with Candida. I think they got the science backwards on that one. I wouldn't add that one. I would stick to the herbs. If you look at my eliminator, that's a perfect one because I stick strictly with the herbs. I strictly deal with what is used to eliminate yeast. Got it?
All right, so to be clear, other than the green drink, will the eliminator take care of all of that? The condition.
Right.
Oh,
right.
So it's 2 in 1. Just
right.
one
So
cleanse versus 2.
Right. So what you would do is always a 1-2 punch. Colon cleanse followed by the eliminator, which is the parasite formula. So it's a 1-2 punch, but you feel you complete one, then you go to the next one. You got to complete the whole bottle for the colon cleanse. Got it?
Right.
And when you go, You're right.
No, go ahead. No, go ahead.
No.
Finish.
So
I'm
when you
sorry.
go through the colon cleanse, that's the cleansing. That's the getting prepared to get the system moving. Got it? So that's getting your bowel movement so that when you eat, you soon have to eliminate. So that's getting you prepared. Next, after you completed that, remember when you start to, if you're a meat eater or anything, if you're living on this northern hemisphere, you absolutely got parasites. Don't think nobody else say you
Amen.
have parasites.
That's
If you
true.
got somebody that say I'm all holistic and I don't have no parasites, y'all lying. Everybody got parasites. It's a part of the degeneration process of the body. It's just natural process. If you didn't have those things, you could never break down matter. That's what a maggot does. A maggot breaks down matter. Got it? So what's happening is this is just a part of the process. Now, how much of that is going on inside of you, that's the difference between good and bad health. When it overtakes the body, and then that's when you have the excess things like candida yeast and things like that, and parasites and all the different variations of that parasite from eating meats and things like that, and even some things you can eat from fish too. You can get parasites. So all of that, when you take that colon cleanse, the body's the parasites that are in you saying, "Wait a minute, they trying to get rid of us." So we need to now spawn more eggs, and then they usually spawn more eggs to try to procreate. They're trying to live longer. They believe they're threatened. So that's why when you cleanse, you must now hit them with the eliminator because that goes in, and that strictly is for killing parasites. You got it? And that's what's going to sweep them out of you. So you cleanse and sweep. At the same time, you're always taking the green drink.
Okay, I'm saying, all right, well, I'll call back up the Wayne Avenue and order colon cleanse and your eliminator.
Yep, that's what made me late today. I just stocked them up. I just stocked them up. So they all stocked up. So if you want to call them after the show or you after we get off of here, well, actually, they're not there now, but you can leave a message with them or first thing in the morning. They should have both the green drinks. They got plenty of green drinks, both Pollockers and Wayne Avenue, both. Okay.
Okay, thank you very much. Appreciate
All right, thank you, brother. Always good questions, man. Good stuff. Big B, you got something over there? What you got over there, man?
You know what? Those are the only two that I had at the moment.
Okay.
You were talking about the other.
Prophetess, you got something over there? You good?
Nope.
Okay, good.
I heard
All
someone
right.
on the phone said I have a question at 215-805.
Okay.
Yes, that's me. My name is
Okay.
Pam. How's everybody?
Just fine.
Hey, is that Pam?
Yes,
Okay, Pam, how you doing?
I'm doing well. I usually call in, so I don't get to ask my questions. I'll be trying, but I can't get them in. But while we were on the topic of the green drink, I was wondering, can you use that powder in a smoothie versus a juice?
Sure. Yes, you can.
Okay.
Yeah, I wouldn't go past 12 ounces though. Okay.
Okay.
You don't go back
Understood.
12. Yeah, don't go past 12 ounces. Try to keep it
Okay.
around 12 ounces, somewhere around there. You want to not dilute, you can add too much fluid. You don't want to, you just want to keep it perfect would be 12 ounces. Yeah, 12 ounces
Okay.
of juice, or you can actually add it to your smoothie. Remember, when you're doing smoothies, though, family, there's just a couple of warnings I always tell folks, and that's only because we're the times we're living in right now. And that has everything to do with watching, conventional versus organic. Got it? You got to watch the conventionals. Stay away from as much conventionals as possible. Everybody know it's conventionals, right? Conventionals are,
Like that.
yes, you can find a lot of them that may have GMOs. That may be modified by the seed, the soil, sometimes both. They're seedless, things like that. A lot of them are sprayed with that chlorpyrifos I always talk about. So you want to do something like a baking soda, aluminum free. Remember, baking soda, aluminum free.
Right.
That's what you want to do to wash all your fruits and vegetables. When they did the test of all of them, and that includes veggie wash, they even did vinegar, all those favorite things people love to wash their foods with, including alkaline water. The only thing that came out every time was baking soda. Wow.
Wow.
And why was that? Anybody know why? What principle would that be? Baking soda.
Nail.
The
Fair enough.
nail.
Knocking it down.
Nail move.
Clean it out. Get it out now.
Actually, it's a so with the sodiums, it actually balances out. It raises your pH so high. See, remember, bacteria, virus, fungus, sepsis, parasites, cancers, COVID can't live in an all alkaline state. Wait a minute, why ain't we talking about this? Why aren't we talking about balancing the pH?
Okay.
Because that's really the building of the immune system. That's the capital and key to the immune system, the potential for hydrogen. So if you raise the pH to the level where that stuff can't live in that environment, guess what? It can't procreate. It can't move. It can't thrive anymore. You've just shut it down. Interesting. But our challenge is we're being exposed to so much stuff that's in an acid environment that keeps us in the environment in which all that stuff lives in. Wow. So that's why we have to, the key to it all. I wish there was something else to talk about. It's all about the pH
Yes, yes,
when you
yes.
really look at it. So when you're doing that, make sure also, last thing when juicing, don't mix fruits and vegetables together at the same time. Y'all know about that, right?
Right. Yeah.
Uh-huh. I see everybody going like that, or y'all going like this. Don't no
I'm,
fruits and vegetables at the same time. Why? Because they move at different rates of speed. They burn at different rates of speed. Because fruits burn what? Slow or fast?
Fast.
Facts.
You sure?
Yeah.
Fruits, yes. Fruits,
Okay. Right. Right.
fruit is
Fruit
fast. Vegetables is
stimulates.
slow.
Remember? Fruit
Stimulate.
stimulates.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
Vegetables stabilize.
Stabilize.
There
Stabilize.
you go. There you go. You got it. So when you need energy, what you gonna grab?
Fruit.
Yeah, fruit. Somebody said
I
fruit.
think
I think.
Fruit.
that.
Fruit.
Yes, absolutely. You're
Well,
gonna grab
it's
fruit,
gonna
but when you want to
mhm.
stabilize and sort of say, I need to chill out a little bit. I need to calm down. Grab some veggies, right? Veggies. That's the key. That's why you eat based off of what you do. Got it? So if you want to drive the system, I need more energy. I'm gonna grab a piece of fruit. Got it? You got it. So when you want to bounce and sort of bring it down, that's why we say try not to eat too much fruit. We say don't eat any fruit after 12 o'clock because now you're going to start to come down like this, right? Till it's time to go to bed, right? You don't want to at night eat your fruit because what's happening? You're going to stimulate the system. You're telling the
Yes,
body
yes,
stay
yes.
up, and then you wonder why you sitting there watching the remote control, saying I can't go to sleep, watching everything late night on TV. TV watching you. You just sitting there with eyes wide open. So I can't sleep. Give me some more of them blueberries. I can't sleep. That's going to keep you up. It's going to keep you up. You are feeding the fire. Absolutely.
Right.
Got it?
Right.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
One other question concerning that, and I'm going to be real fast. With the green drink, and someone mentioned a few weeks ago about the chunks in it. Going forward,
Mm-hmm.
I mean, I understand it's healthy and it's good, but it's hard to drink. It doesn't give you the. It's not. No disrespect. Satisfying
No,
when you
no. I
drink
think
it.
that you probably just caught that was like I said. This it's not in all of them. It was just in that
Okay.
one. It was that
I
one
see.
line because it
Okay.
was just in that time that we said if you got it, then you
Yeah.
got it. You got a little gift there. It's
Okay.
not in all of them. Yep. Yep.
Thank
It,
you.
it was just something that happened in that line when they bring it down. You have to if it's not, just remove it. But the whole point is it's the purest form. It's the purest form you're
Yes.
going to get. It's the purple dulse. I mean, purple dulse. I challenge you to try to get that. It's hard. And
Okay.
also beets, things like that. You can't find this stuff. But
Right.
see, it all comes down to just the knowing of like, wow, that's a gift. If you got it, you got
Okay.
blessed on that one. But if not, send it to me. Send it back. Put it in a
Not
Ziploc baggie for a brother. Send it on back.
Thank you, Dr. Paul.
You
I'm
got it.
sorry. I'm sorry. I just know a good thing when to see it, y'all.
That's right. That's right.
All right. Take
All
care
right.
now. All right,
Thank
Big
you.
B. Let's see who else we got up here. We got let's see who we got here. Is that Van? Hey, Van.
Hi, good evening, everyone.
Hi
All
there.
right.
Following up Dr. Paul from last week, I agreed with you. I saw canola in almost everything, not necessarily in my house, but when I went to the grocery store, canola oil was saturated in
Everywhere.
all the food. So,
Now, yep. Now we know why so many people are having issues with cholesterol. It's this thing called canola, y'all. They got away with this, and you will never see them say that this is a synthetic, but it is exactly what it is. It's a synthetic. There's no canola plant sitting somewhere, so getting sunshine. No. And yeah, what did you find it in, by the way?
everything, everything on the shelf. I couldn't believe it. A couple of things in my cabinet too. So I've been avoiding it. I've not been eating it. I went today to the grocery store to find a dressing for my salad, and I found, I think it was, I can't. It has the mother in it. I don't know. But anyway, I can't think of the name of it. But no canola oil. It had olive oil, so I was pleased. I purchased that.
Okay.
And you asked me last week what did I have in my cabinet, and I have avocado oil.
All right. Okay. Good.
Good?
Unrefined, right?
And that's what Karen said. Make sure, now listen, if it's, I have a question. If it's, when should you assume that it is unrefined? Should it say unrefined?
Yes, it should
And
say
if it
unrefined.
doesn't say unrefined, then the assumption is it is refined.
In most cases, you got to be careful, because yes, there's some brands that will definitely put on there unrefined, and you can tell the difference between it. I've actually seen two brands of the same oil. Like, for example, there was a sunflower oil one day. You can look at the two of them. One was refined and one was unrefined. So the refined one is always going to be, what do? They pull the minerals out. So it's going to be a lighter oil. It's always going to be a lighter oil. The refines are always lighter. The dark ones, those are usually, you can tell by spotting it, that's usually unrefined. That's the minerals in it. Got it? That's a good way to spot it. Even if it doesn't say it, you can look at it and you can tell. And that's why the bottles are dark. Some of the bottles are dark because they know that sunlight hits it, dissipates minerals. Remember, male principle. So we want to keep that tinted down. So we're going to tint the bottle. Wow. Now you know why the tint's on the bottle. Everything means something. Got it? Everything means something.
I have two more. I don't want to hog the
That's okay.
But I wanted to know, my nails are soft and they split, and I'm not quite sure why that is. And I have maybe some ridges in them, a little ridges. And then the last thing I wanted to ask you was intermittent fasting. What's your take on that?
Okay, so first let's talk about the nails. Okay, the nails definitely, that's calcium. Okay, calcium. Hair, skin, nails, calcium. So that's also thyroid. We got to watch thyroid. Got it? One that we do, not to diagnose, treat, kill, prevent disease, just food for the soul, would be the MSM. Methyl sulfonate methane. M as in Mary, S as in Sam, M as in Mary. That, just taking a quarter teaspoon in about 8 ounces of your water, will increase the levels of density with the bone structure, inflammation, but also nails. And also it makes your hair grow fast. Yep. All right, Karen. All right, Bill. We might want to throw some of that in there.
Wow. Hey, Karen's not paying a whole lot of attention. Right? we got that.
So MSM has been known. That's the one thing you're going to notice, that they get really strong. Now, when you see ridges in the nails, that is a sign of pinworms. That's usually a sign of pinworms. Yeah. Look at your nails, everybody. Look at them. Go ahead. Look at them. You see the lines in there? Yep. We did a whole breakdown on the nails one time. Remember we did that, Big B? We did a whole thing on the nails.
Yep.
That's what I was saying to the ladies. There's a time when you should, not always keep the nail polish on the nails. You should have it a little bit after a while, pull it off so you can see what's going on. When you see the little dots on there, those are little calcium deposits inside of there. Got it? And then we were also showing like those that had high moons versus low moons, versus, things like that that you can spot. But usually those lines are signs of intestinal worms. Yeah, but that's okay. That's it's everybody. I'm just trying to tell everybody, get used to this is part of life itself. It's in your gut, so it's a war going on. It's all right. Parasites are they have a process. That's part of their job, but you just got to make sure that it doesn't accelerate to the level where it becomes dangerous. Got it? So that's what do we do? We cleanse every. Wow, that was like crickets on
Every
that.
season.
Change every
Change of
season.
every season. Every change of
Cleanse
every
every
season.
change of season. See, when you do that, you can't give time for something to to sit in the gut. That's what happens with all the stuff that's happening with the cancer and the fibroids, the cysts, the tumors, and all that stuff. That means stuff been sitting a long time. Cancer takes sometimes 15 years to develop in the body. So when somebody comes back and say they have a growth or a tumor, that's been sitting there for a long time, y'all. It's a long time. That's a long time of doing the wrong thing. You got it? So that's why we say don't eat the meat in the morning, things like that. You got to keep the gut clean. Keep that gut clean. All right.
All
All
right.
right, Van.
That was the intermittent fasting. That's it. I'm done.
Yes, intermittent fasting is very good, but you got to prepare for fasting. Got it? Because when you start to fast, you put the body in a deficit and you can raise what's called ketones. Ketones is when your body's ability to now determine how do I want to burn energy. Got it? So if you fast, you got to be, of course, some people are doing it for spiritual reasons, things like that. But I always say prepare for a fast because right now we're just not getting the proper amount of food. So when people tend to fast, they're fasting and they're already malnutrition, and that's not good. And you could put yourself in a deficit if you already have a chronic condition. That's what my concern always is. So I would always say, that's why we do the green drinks. Many people have already checked through if you're doing it for a spiritual or religious purpose with their pastor or their imam or whatever it is, that is this safe that I can do this, that I can keep, religiously speaking, spiritually clear with the religion that I practice, but also still be able to take this. And usually it's kosher because of the fact that it's just fruits and vegetables and herbs, which means that you're cleansing the body. You got it? But you got to build that immune system. You got to build it. And when you don't and you start to fast, first thing pops up in your urine is going to be ketones, because that means your body says, well, hey, wait a minute, Van, I usually burn carbohydrates for energy, but now you don't have no food going on. So I got to switch gears. Because I think you starving. We must be on a desert island. So it says, wait a minute, I'm going to switch this from burning carbs to now start to burn fat for energy. Got it? Because it believes you're starving. That's when we start to see the ketones, because you're burning fat for energy. Now the body says, I'm gonna burn this fat until you get it together. But also I'm gonna use that. I'm gonna burn slow energy. So every time you burn fat is slow energy, because it's like a polar bear storing up fat. So you're gonna store up fat and you're gonna burn it slow, because the body says, I can burn this because I can stay alive longer. Because I believe we're starving. You see what's happening? You're in a crisis. Got it? That's not a good thing to do. Like the keto diets and stuff, that stuff is bad. That's dangerous. I tell people, you don't want to do that. You don't want to ever burn fat for energy. That's not the way the body works. So what you got to do is, people say, well, I can't seem to get rid of this little pudge right in here. I can't get rid of this right here. Or I'm on the treadmill 8 hours a day and I still can't get this little part right here. Just won't go nowhere. And everything I eat just seems like I get bloated. Boom. What is going on? Has everything to do with you not getting enough nutrients. Now here comes the green drink. Green drink says, I got your back. I'm going to come in and give you the nutrients you need. You switch from over here, switch back over to burning carbs, and then they say, hey, I got enough nutrients. I ain't got to hold on to this fat no more. And you just let it go. Now you start losing weight so fast, make your head spin, girl. I'm telling you, that's the way it happens. That's the way it happens every time. But remember when you, it's funny, Big B. Let me tell you what's funny. I'm giving people their numbers, like when they sit down with their urine and everything, and I'm looking down like this, and I see a high ketones, and usually, remember I told you that's slow energy. So now your slow energy means that you slipping, somebody talking to you, and you like this.
Yeah, yeah.
You're like,
Mm-hmm.
yeah, yeah, I was here. What was that? Praise the Lord. You go, you go like this. I was listening. I was listening. I was listening. I heard everything you said. So when some people, and I'm giving their numbers, and I'm looking at the ketones, I said, "All right, what I'm looking at." And I look up, and they knocked out sleep right in
Yes.
front of me, right in
Yes.
front of me, and and you say this, they sit there talking, and you ever see somebody when they talking at you, and their eyes is going like this,
Yes.
and their eyes be going like this. You say, "Are you awake? Are you listening to me?" Yep, ketones. Probably starving. Got it? Malnutrition issue. Never use ketones to burn for energy. So now when you switch back to carbs, body says, I got what I need. Now we can start burning energy again. Got it? That's the quick energy. That's to keep you sharp. That's your sharp energy. All right. so so hopefully that helps you.
Thank you. Yes.
Stay awake. Stay awake, y'all. Stay awake. All right, let's see. Big B, you got any questions over there? Anybody have anything? Make sure you can put it in the chat room over there. I want to play this little video for you, but B, go ahead and do that while I look for this video. I want to try to find this if I can.
There were just
Give me a
comments about
second.
the MSM, which you just covered, and the whole idea of the cleansing.
Yes.
And let me see. It talks about the food labels, which is also there. Let me see. Oh, there was a question about what can you wash your clothing in? What's good to wash clothes in?
Yeah, there is if you go to any of the stores, Whole Foods or any of the stores, you will see Seventh Heaven. There's a lot of them out there. There's organic variations of clothing because some people have sensitivity with all this stuff with the chemicals and things. Like
Mm-hmm.
I had someone the Oxy, was it the Oxy something?
OxyClean.
OxyClean. Yeah, some people were having, irritation and breakouts to that because remember, everything is touching your skin, absorbs through, your skin every 28 seconds.
Uh-huh.
So some people were having breakout issues because of that. Because low form of bleach type stuff. So stuff was getting in the system and it was blocking up the lymphatic system. Got it.
Uh-huh.
So you got to watch everything you put your of course, like babies. Anybody know that when you have babies, they can't have just regular clothing stuff because that stuff has a lot of chemicals in it.
Mm-hmm.
So they have to get a variation of that, which is what they use, and it tends to be a better fit for them. All right. All right. I'm gonna try to find this, y'all. Let me see if I can find this.
So let me just while
Okay, go
you're doing that. So if someone uses bleach, should I say,
ahead.
in cleaning, doing a lot of their cleaning, does that really affect an individual that you were just talking about the cleansing just now, affecting your liver?
Yes, absolutely. Anything that starts to deal with the skin is going to deal with the liver. That's absolutely correct.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's again, we got to keep the clean. You got to keep the system clean, family. I mean, it's just where we are right now. It's just it's sad, but man has sort of industrialized everything to the point where so many things are toxic. They sort of forgot about the nature itself, and that how these things, the more chemicals you come up with, it becomes a threat to the life and exposure to chemical to the nature we live in. But see, they're looking at it from a point that if I create something that's never been created before, that's a copyright, that's a patent. I got something nobody else has. I'm gonna run with this.
Yes.
And they run with it with no concern or recklessness for nature. You see what I'm saying? And then a lot of the legislation from our politicians can't keep up with the technology that these people are doing. You know,
Mm-hmm.
AKA, look what happened with Monsanto's and the,
Yes,
the
yes,
glyphosates and all this
yes.
stuff. It's always after the fact that people have been sick for years and years. There's one called paraquats, and also another one that the glyphosates. These
Mm-hmm.
things now, the lawyers are having a field day with this now because
Mm-hmm.
they're getting people who sprayed these pesticides, and you didn't even have to be on the land that they were spraying it. You could
Mm.
have been down the field a little bit. And they
Right,
said, have
right.
you ever had any lung issues or autonomic issues, which are, been diagnosed with multiple sclerosis or Parkinson's or something like that? You might want to give us a call. They know
Mm-hmm.
that this thing has gotten out of control.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, yeah. Anything touch your skin is going to be in your bloodstream.
Okay, now
20
you said
seconds.
touch your skin. What if you inhale,
Same
the
thing.
Clorox?
Yep,
Same thing.
absolutely. Well, not just Clorox. I
Not
mean, we're not
bubbly.
talking
Let me
about,
just say, not
but
Clorox,
just
but bleach.
anything airborne.
Mm-hmm.
That's why we say never put bleach on things like, a misnomer is when people say they put bleach on things like mold.
Mm-hmm.
Never do that. Never do that. Because what happens is you give the air spores, you give them wings. It actually goes
Uh-huh.
airborne. Yep. You make it airborne. All right. So make sure you don't do that.
Interesting that you should say that. Some time ago, when I worked inside a prison in South Jersey for like 13 years, and we had a lot of mold in the studio area. And
Mm-hmm.
guess what? For mold remediation, they did. They
Mm.
sprayed bleach on the walls. How
Yep.
about that?
Yep.
And we
Yep.
had, and guess what? There were no windows in the studio. How about that? To draw, there's
Not
no
good.
real so-called circulation. So I
Mm-hmm.
can now understand why maybe some of my students were ill, and I didn't understand what the reason was.
Yeah. Yeah.
Now I
Absolutely.
begin. That makes sense to me
Yeah.
now.
And then the children are exposed to this every day. When
Yes,
they're attending
yes.
school. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm going to show
Did you
this
find it?
video now.
Okay.
Okay. I'm going to show this video now. I got it up. And this is going to be something that I've been looking at this as we talk about lymphatic drainage. How you start to, let me go back to here. Let me know if I'm still here, family. Okay. Do y'all
I
see the
still see it.
screen?
Yes, we see the screen.
You
Yes.
see the
Uh-huh.
black screen, right?
Yep.
Okay,
Mm-hmm.
good. Okay, I'm going to show you. This is lymphatic drainage. This is to get your system. I believe everyone should do this. Get your pens and pads and write this down. You may even want to walk through this. Get yourself free. Put your pens and pads to the side where you can write and take notes. But give yourself a little room where you can join as she's breaking this down. I want you to go into doing this, a little routine before when you wake up in the morning, and then before you go into bed. That's a good time to get this thing moving. It helps as you are starting to now take the herbs and things. You're exercising. It's excellent cool down, but it's draining the poisons out of the body. All right, y'all ready? All right, let me know if you can hear it. Okay.
Hi, I'm Rebecca
Yep.
Steiner, and today I'm going to show you how to do
Can you
self-lymphatic
rate
drainage.
there? Rate there.
What you want to know about
Share-
the lymphatic
share your-
system
Yeah.
is that all the lymphatic vessels follow our vascular system, and many of these vessels are really, really close to the surface. What's interesting is that the left side of our body, our legs, our core, our left arm, all drains into the left side or into our thoracic duct via the left side of our body. Our right arm and our head and neck drain into the thoracic duct via the right side of our body. So it's not an even system, and there's actually a rhythm that goes with the lymphatic system that if you can tune into that, it allows for more accuracy, but you don't have to feel it to be effective. So sometimes I'll talk about waiting for the sense of, it's almost like a tide, like the ocean coming in and out is how the lymphatic system moves. And so I may speak about that. If you don't feel that, it's okay. You just let your hands just go ahead and go through the movement patterns. And so one way to think about it is that you just put enough pressure to contact your skin and tug it, almost like you put your hand on top of Jell-O. You don't want to smash it. You just want to rest your hand on top to create enough surface tension to tug the Jell-O. That's how we're going to start out. When we're doing lymphatic drainage, we are moving all the fluids in our system to a much higher degree than they normally move without that impulse and that assistance to jumpstart our system. So you want to take advantage of this opportunity and drink a lot of water. If you don't, you can actually feel a little fluish or not good because a lot of toxins are being released into our system and we really want to flush it out. So drink water, more water than usual on the days that you do lymphatic drainage for yourself. Also, do not do lymphatic drainage if you feel like you're getting sick. It can make the virus be more active or the bacterial infection be more active in our system. So if we're not feeling well, we don't do it, and when we do it, we drink water. There are also other health risks of when you should or should not do lymphatic drainage, so I encourage you to check with your physical therapist or doctor before you start. Okay, so given that it's okay, where you're going to start is right here. You're going to feel these collarbones, your clavicles, right at the top part of your chest.
Follow along if you want to.
Take your hands and just go like this on your chest, you'll feel the prominence of these two bones. Let your fingertips just rest over the top of this bone, and you're gently just going to drag the skin down toward the center, just like this, over and over again. And this starts to allow the fluid to drain into the thoracic duct, which dumps into your venous system. So when I do this, what I like to do is really do one side at a time. So I would start all the way at the end of my clavicle and come along, and then I would take this hand and follow with a flat hand, and to be able to cover a greater area and just bring all the fluid into the center of my chest. And so what you want to think about is that the water in your hand and your tissues in your hand is communicating with the fluids in the tissue that we're actually contacting. So water on water. So you kind of have that visual image in your own mind. And you're just moving the fluid and moving the congestion. Again, I'm going to start here at the top of my clavicle, come along, and then follow with this hand right in. And sometimes you'll feel places that you can't keep going because there's so much congestion. You can just do a few small strokes right there to kind of jumpstart getting that fluid moving, and then come back and do a longer stroke. Again, I'm going to start here with my fingertips and then come here. Oftentimes when we do lymphatic drainage with patients, there's a little bit of a lilt to our touch, kind of like a wave. It's okay to not do that, but you can kind of bring that in just a little bit. Then if you want to really tune in, you can kind of feel when the fluid starts to move and move with it. So here and here along this clavicle. Then we're going to repeat the same thing on the other side. I'm going to take this hand on the top of my clavicle, on the top of this collarbone, come along it, just like this. Let the fluid start draining in. Again, this is like clearing off the interstate. So all the rest of the vessels can have a clear pathway to drain. And then I'm going to take this hand, real flat, just soft contact, and it's more about dragging my skin than pressing into my skin. A real flat hand, right like this. So you do as many repetitions as you need to before everything, until you can feel less of stickiness that is having your hand not be able to glide well. That's kind of what you'll feel like. You just can't keep going. So once it's cleared out, then you've done enough repetitions. If you say, I really can't tell if I'm feeling it or not, just do 10 strokes on each side. That'll be fine. Once we have drained the fluid right above our clavicles, right into the sternal notch, right into the center of our chest, then we're going to come up here to our neck and come right up by our ear and just drag down all through here. You can even use two hands and get a little bit behind your ear and a little bit in front of your ear. Those of you with sinus congestion, this helps so much.
Y'all hear that?
If your face gets real puffy, this can help drain your face. This part right here, the fluid in the rest of your body doesn't really drain through here, but we have pressure gradients of fluid in our body, and if we're super congested in our head and neck, it can impede our ability of the rest of our body to drain. So it's important to get this cleared out as well. Then we'll come over here. Same thing, kind of in front of your ear and behind your ear, and just drag down. You can do this simultaneously and do both sides, just like this, and do a few reps like this. Then we're going to move into our axilla. We have a lot of lymph nodes here and here in our body, and our lymphatic system kind of drains first left, then right. first left, then right. So we'll start with the left side, and I'm going to lean back a little bit for this. So you can be
All right, ladies,
flat
this is the good one right here.
on your bed to do this. You can do it sitting if you need to too, but it's nice to have your arms supported. You're going to take your hand real flat again, come below, a little bit below your axilla, your armpit, and just come up, just like that. And just drag up and release, and drag up and release. Make sure you go slow enough to really not slip on top of your tissue. It's like you're taking it with you, like you're like grabbing water and coaxing the water to go in a certain direction, and you're scooping it rather than just going on the top of the water and leaving it behind. So you actually want to just scoop under here and have a scooping action a little bit with your hand, like you're actually capturing fluid and moving it up and moving it up. Sometimes I find that it's helpful to stay more in one place, like I am right now, and doing multiple repetitions rather than just sweeping up. You can do either. I think it's good actually to do both. But sometimes you'll find areas that feel thicker, so you want to kind of stay on those areas and just scoop and lift and scoop and lift. So the scooping action is kind of like this with your hand rather than digging in. It's all on the surface, but it's kind of a little bit of a action like that, like you're scooping water and you're trying to brush all the water over here like that. So we'll do the left side. I find this is a really common place for people to be congested. And when they're congested here, it can make your ankle swelling not go down, because your ankle swelling, all that fluid comes up through this left axilla into your thoracic duct. So if you've got constant swelling in your legs, it could be that you're congested in these areas here. Then the same thing over here. We're going to just come up with sort of that wave-like action of our hand. If you feel like I can't get that wave-like action down, that's okay. Just drag up through this axilla just like that, repeatedly, at least 10 times. And then you can say, okay, that's good. Then the next area we're going to go to is right under your rib cage, at the base of your ribs. So you kind of feel where your ribs stop, and we're going to put the small part of your hand, let's say take the center part of your hand on those lower ribs. So you've got part of your hand on your ribs, part of your hand below your ribs. So just kind of right there. And you're kind of on top of your liver on the right side and on your spleen and pancreas on this side. So that's what we're holding here. Now, if you think about that, now we're working with some deeper structures. We think about our intention going a bit deeper, like when we were talking about being on the surface of the jello. Now we're kind of grabbing the jello and bringing the whole piece one direction rather than just the top. So again, place your hands kind of the middle of your hand on the base of your ribs. So you've got a little bit on your ribs, a little bit on your soft tissue. And you're gonna come, starting with your left hand, a little bit in, just like that. So it's like this. You're just bringing the fluid in. It's like you're helping your organs and your lymphatic system drain right in like this. For some of you, that if you're perceiving a lot of congestion here, or you don't know whether you are or not, you can have your left hand at the top of your clavicles and come in as you work with your liver simultaneously. So right like this. Left hand to liver. You only do this side, not this one, just like this. This is what I found is very effective. Good. And then you can bring both. And then the next place we're going to go is to a place called the root of the mesentery, which is the very base of your small intestine. And it actually is just located on the right side. So you find your belly button and you come out about that far. So here's the side of my body. I'm much closer to the side of my body than I am my belly button, but I'm out from that, maybe slightly lower. And because we're going to go deeper on this one, it's nice to use this hand for a little bit of pressure. And I'm going to come in and either go down or up. We really do want to go down, because our lymphatic system, if we take a line from our belly button, kind of make a smiley face, all this drains into the lymph nodes in our groin, and above goes up into here. So For some of us, our fluid may want to come up before it goes down, and some of us, our fluid may automatically just go down. So you just come right from your side, in and down, and come in and down, and in and down. If you're gentle, none of this should be painful. Very, very gentle. It should actually sometimes be incredibly relaxing. It really lets your autonomic nervous system calm down when you do lymphatic drainage. And so it should be very slow. And if you take your time, you can almost feel the tide, the pull of the lymphatic system move your hands. Again, if you don't, it's okay, just do 10 reps. Then we're going to go to the next area, which is the front of our groins. So we have a lot of lymph nodes right in here. And so I think it's sometimes easier. You can do both sides simultaneously. And here we're lifting up, like almost like you're putting your hand in your pockets and you're coming right up. I've had a lot of people that have had a lot of hip pain. And when you get the lymphatic system to drain here, their hip pain's gone. They can move their leg without pain.
Good one,
so it can be very, very, very helpful.
For the hips.
And you can feel sometimes that, on me actually, this is much freer and more open. This side, I almost run into a block that says, I'm not going to let you keep going. So I would just, what I would do is see if that block would be happier going down, and on me it is. So I'm going to let it go down a few times. This again is kind of light pressure. And then I'll see if it's ready to cooperate, and it is. Now it'll come up. So if you listen to the body and you don't force it and you kind of work with it, it's amazing what'll open up. Yep.
Great.
So right through here, right through here. Yep, right like this. Really, really important point. Then the next place we're going to go is the back of our knees. So right here, flat hand.
This is for the planets
you're just
right
going
here.
to drag right up the back of your knee. And I think it's really helpful to use two hands. You're not digging in with your fingertips. Your hands are flat. This is there's not a lot of thick muscle tissue here. We don't need to go deep. This is kind of like here where we stayed on the surface. Just going to stay on the surface behind your knee. You can just take one hand or both and just stroke right up. So for people who have a lot of knee swelling or foot and ankle swelling, if you're congested back here, your foot will not drain well. So this needs to be opened up, and this needs to be opened up, this to be able to let your foot and ankle drain. So back here again, right here, until you feel no restriction. It's just smooth and easy to feel. Same thing on the other side. You can support this up on a surface so you don't have to hold your own leg. That would be really hard to do for any period of time if you're really needing some work. Definitely prop your leg up on pillows or a chair so that it's real effortless to reach and work right in through here. Then we're going to come down to the foot and ankle. And so this is a common place where people are swollen. And so there's lymph nodes around this medial, this inside bone, this medial malleolus. This is a great place to start. And as you can see, this is almost skin and tendons and nerves and blood vessels. There's not a lot of soft tissue here. So again, we're just really light with our touch, right like that. And just coming right around that bone, and then we can come simultaneously up. That's it, right up. And then in our leg, the fluid actually moves up on the inside. So if you want to take that all the way up, you can come right on up and through. Right on up and through. Or if you're particularly swollen in your foot and ankle, keep working with that. The fluid on the top of our foot drains this way. On the bottom of our foot, it splits and comes like this. So if you have plantar fasciitis, if you have pain on the bottom of your foot, this is really helpful to just move the fluid up and through, just like this. Now on this foot, I had surgery, you can see the scar, and I'm a little bit more puffy than I am on this side. So this side really benefits from doing lymphatic drainage. And when I come up like I show you, there's a spot right here where the fluid does not want to go up like we would expect it to. It actually tugs back down. So if I follow down along the scar and then come up, I've been able to move the fluid more effectively out of my ankle. So sometimes you don't always follow the classic pathways. You listen to your body. When there is a surgery or an injury, your lymphatic system reroutes itself. It's just interested in draining. It doesn't care about the accurate pattern that we've decided needs to happen. It does whatever it needs to do to get that fluid moving. And so we want to just honor that. So on this side, I come down before I come up, and that gets the fluid moving a lot better. Again, on the top of your foot, take both hands in the middle of your foot, bring it up this way, and then right up through here. So the only place I didn't cover is that's actually important too, is the back of your neck. So all along the base of your skull, your occiput, this is another area where we can help drain right down into here. So you can start in the back and bring it down like this, right from the back of your neck, all the way down and through, just like this. And then with a broader hand, you can just stroke along the back of your neck and then bring it into your collarbone and straight down. Base of your head, right to your ear and down. Some of you may find that your pattern is a little bit more toward the spine, but typically I find that this is how we drain. And then a broad surface contact right like this. Right in, over your clavicle, your collarbone, and right down. So finally, let's get into the face. So a lot of us have trouble with puffiness in through here or sinus congestion, and lymphatic drainage makes a big, big difference. And so we can start right here under our eye and bring the fluid right up above our ear and down. And I find too, you can pre-stretch the tissue and then follow it is really nice to move a little bit faster with lymphatic drainage. So you pre-stretch it and follow it. And any place you feel the pushback, you just move a little slower. Like I have a little pushback right here. I move a little slower and wait till that fluid can move with my fingers down. Right. And then right above our eyebrows, right like this, and out and down. You can just use one hand, that's fine too. So here at the base of our jaw, right like this, and right down. Sometimes you'll feel your mouth water. You get this fluid moving. So if you're going to use both hands, you can crisscross them and come right like that and down. And right like this and down. Good. Again, right by the ears, really important place where we get really congested. And here, and then right above your clavicles. And just that can make a huge difference in addressing chronic swelling in our knees, in our hips, in our ankles. So I hope that this video has been helpful for you. I encourage you to just jump in and try it. If you're gentle and you listen to your body, you're not going to hurt yourself. I want to give gratitude to Nina Davis, who is a lymphatic drainage therapist in Austin, Texas, who is amazing. And I'm sure there are lymphatic drainage specialists in all of your communities. I'm a physical therapist and we do lymphatic drainage at our clinic as well. But there are people also that do nothing but lymphatic drainage. It's their unique specialty. So I encourage you to seek them out. And in between sessions, this will allow you to help work on yourself. Thank you.
All right, y'all. Let's give her a hand. That was good. Did y'all get anything out of that?
No, I like that.
See, you know what? We have to, the reason why I think that was important, because that symbolizes, that goes back to everything we talk about.
Right.
When we talk about the blockage that's happening with so many people in those areas.
Yeah.
You talked about the plantar and back. Someone actually, that was one of our first questions, right?
Yes, exactly was.
Right. So that's a lot to do with lymphatic blockage. You get that mode, you do this every day, at least twice a day, just before when you wake up in the morning, you can start it. And then when you go to bed, just before you go to bed, you can be watching the news and doing this.
Yes.
That's going to make a big difference. Especially a lot of people have a lot of swelling in the ankles, in the legs, and the knees, and then the joint pain in the hip. She addressed all those issues. I said, wow, this is a great video of something that you can do, which is very simple. It's not hard, not complex, but the consistency is the key. You got it? The consistency is the key. All right. All right. Did y'all get anything out of that?
Yeah, man. That's right on time.
Great.
That's
Okay.
Right on time.
Good.
Dr.
Good.
Where can we get that video? Where can we pull it up?
Okay. Yes, I wanted to give you the
Dr. Paul,
information.
it's actually it's actually in the chat. So once we
is it?
the individual,
Okay.
yes. Listen, guys, let me share something with you. When I print out the chats, when I send them to you, I send them to you in what's called a PDF format. Okay. When you see the link for that, all you have to do in the PDF is click the link. It'll take you directly to the video. How about that?
Yeah,
Okay?
yeah.
Oh, thank
Also,
you.
but if
Thank
you
you
but
very
if you're
much.
listening on the phone and you can't, of course, check in. That's actually if you go to YouTube
Right.
and you punch in New Dimensions Physical Therapy. That's who
Right.
that was. Yep. New
Okay.
Dimensions Physical Therapy. You can subscribe to the chart, to her page, and she goes through a lot of this stuff, a lot of good stuff that helps people with these issues. This is it, y'all. This is it. This, when you talk about people having chronic conditions, it starts because of the immobility. People aren't moving anymore. So
Yes.
that stuff sits and sits and sits. And
Yes.
remember, the lymphatic system is a very slow moving system. It only moves when you move. Remember, it doesn't have a pump. Not like the first system, which is your heart, which pumps the arteries and veins. This system doesn't have a pump. It only has those little muscles. That's what she's massaging, those muscles, and they twitch. And they only twitch and move when you move. Got it? So you got to get it moving. That's why when you exercise, it's always good to cool down with lymphatic drainage. You can also treat yourself to a lymphatic drainage, therapist who actually does this. So they are in Philadelphia. Just punch Google based on where you are. You can say the closest
to that.
lymphatic drainage, masseuse that's closest to me, and it'll
Right.
probably point you right in the direction. All right.
That sounds like a good one.
All right. All right.
Oh, can I say something?
Sure.
This is Audrey.
Hey, Audrey.
I have lymphedema after breast cancer, so they removed 24 lymph nodes from under my left arm, and I actually go to a lymphedema therapist at Einstein Moss.
Mm-hmm.
They actually lay me on my right side, and they massage my left side from head to toe in order to get everything moving.
Yep.
But also, if anybody has any problem with that, you can order a sleeve or you can buy them.
Yes.
It's in control because I don't have 24 lymph nodes.
Right. That's right. That's right. So that means that there's an extra, there's an extra care there that you have to do it on a more regular basis.
Yes.
Folks, we have to keep this thing moving. That's what's going to help as part of your detox is for you to start to move that stuff out of the system. You notice everything was going towards the heart. If it's lower, so many people are rubbing their legs this way, going down. Don't go down. You're supposed to go up. You got it?
Okay.
But you got to start up at the hip area to open up those areas. You got to open it up, and then you work your way down to the knees and eventually inside all the way down to the leg. Don't start at the bottom of the leg, and you haven't opened up the hip area. You got it? That's the inguinal. That's inguinal section. So that's why you have to, when you're doing this, it's just an easy process. Stretching also helps too. We talk about the rebounder. The rebounder is the mini trampoline. So it's a lot of things to get this moving, but I think if you just spend a little time with that every day, you're going to see an incredible improvement with swelling, and that's around the eyes, the cheeks. It can also go around any part of the body where you notice this excess swelling. You can actually start to improve those areas. Okay. All right, Big B. I got one more question. We got one more question, and we're about to get out of here because it is almost 9:00, and I thought that was a good point to add to that. Prophet has been sending me stuff, and she's saying, yep, she's shaking her head. She cracking a whip over there. All right, you had Big B. You had one question from someone. I believe it was a new person that was
Stephen
coming through.
Harmon. Stephen, are you there? Do you have a particular question that you wanted to ask? You there? Steve was the first timer, I understand.
First
Yes.
time.
Can you hear me?
Yes, we
Yes,
can. Go ahead,
Steve.
Stephen.
Mm-hmm.
Yes. So, I'm 25 years old. I was just diagnosed with HIV and cancer, lymphoma, about 2 weeks ago. I just got out the hospital yesterday because there was a blood clot in my arm and my arm was hurting. So they took my port out. I've done one round of chemo already,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't want to do any more chemo. My hair is falling out, and I'm kind of just trying to stay positive, and I don't really know exactly what to do. I've been drinking alkaline water. I've been taking baking soda and sea salt baths. I've been doing MSM. I've been trying to eat alkaline as possible. I just want to know if there's something else I should be doing besides this because it's kind
Yeah,
of hard to do
absolutely.
this.
Right. You got to get an assessment done first. We got to see where you are. If you went,
Yes,
how many
yes.
rounds of chemo did you go through?
One, and they were trying to give me another one today, but I didn't do
Mm-hmm.
it because I took my
Okay,
port
so
out.
here's your key. Whenever you're talking about cancer of any kind, you got to master the pH. You got it? You got to master the pH. You got to know where you are at all times. So remember, cancer cannot live in an all alkaline state. So the key is doing that, but also you got to watch out for certain things. People are saying alkaline waters, but there's certain alkaline waters you got to stay away from. You know,
Mm-hmm.
no purified, no filtered, no reverse osmosis, no distilled. Got it? Those are some of the waters that are actually in there. Some of the style waters a lot of people are
Yes.
drinking, they think are good. They're not good. Remember, we have to keep and hold the charge in the body. Also, contamination with a lot of foods. So we would put you first with an assessment. Then from the assessment, put you on a point so that you can stay alkaline. That's the key. I hear when you said MSM, you said you're doing a lot of things. Remember this one thing that people are not putting together is that you have to have what's called a feeder and a fighter. You gave me a lot of fighters, but we don't have a whole lot of feeders. You got it?
What's
Feeders
considered a
would
feeder?
be feeders would be the hydrogen, the plant base. That's the energy for every cell in your body. You have a little car engine, and that car engine spins, that's hydrogen. So the greatest source of hydrogen on the planet is anything green.
Okay.
Wow. Got it? So green, along with the antioxidants, is what makes the wheel spin. And that usually people have gotten into fighting, but they're not feeding. You got it? So when
Mm,
you maximize your feeding, which is maximizing that alkalinity, that's really where alkalinity comes from. Is from that energy from hydrogen, plant-based, green, chlorophyll, land and sea. Then you're going to see the turnaround. That's when the body starts to resonate, kick starts the liver. Liver is your power nuclear reactor. So if the body's got to clean, it's going to start with the liver first. That's your power reactor, but that's also the blood cleanser. That's also connected to your brain. So that means when things are a little cloudy and fuzzy, that's because the liver's fuzzy. You got it? So you got to start to get all those things in order. Come on in, get an assessment. We put you on a game plan, and then I give you my best recommendation. All right. The
okay.
RM3A would be an excellent one for you. We have what's called the RM3A, full body analysis. Tests what's called 8 risk factors. That's autonomic system, pseudomotor, nerve damage, contraction, if there's any misalignments going on. So, along with that, diabetes, high blood pressure, we check everything. So, from that, along with the urine, we put you on a game plan and we keep you in focus. And you can check yourself
There you
every
go.
day. So, you'll know which way am I spinning? Am I spinning tearing down or am I spinning building up? Got it?
Okay.
All right,
All
my
right,
brother. So,
Stephen.
if you want to get a hold of me, let me give you my number. You got my pen? You got a pen?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay, it's 1-877-377-2854. Got it?
Okay.
Call the number, ask for the RM3A. We're doing a special still. We do a 10% prepay offer for those that are coming through, even if it's a long time down the road. Get in and get registered. So when you
Yes,
get in,
yes.
you can get point. And we have a cancellation list. I'm telling you, Big B, this cancellation list is funny because people say, well, oh, man, you got me months later. But guess what?
Yes,
If
it
you're
happens.
on the list
It
and
happens.
someone cancels, we call the first call cancellation list. So we go down that list. And then some people say, I can't make it. Nah, I'm good. And then guess what? We go to the next person. So next person comes down. Sometimes we see people months in event that are down the line, months,
Yes.
come
yes.
right on in. So
Yep.
it may be the day you may be the person that we can contact. Okay. So I would do that. Keep me posted, and I'll look forward to seeing you. Okay.
Thank you for your time. I appreciate it.
Yes,
All right.
sir.
Be encouraged, my brother. Be
Hey,
encouraged. Okay. Be encouraged.
keep coming back. We
What
enjoy
kind of
this.
water you drinking, by the way?
So I'm drinking Fiji and this alkaline 88 smooth
That's with the
hydration water.
Himalayan salt. That's with the Himalayan salt right there, right? Is that the 88 with the Himalayan salt?
Yes.
Okay. What kind of water is that? That 88. Is it read what it says to it.
There's purified water.
Purified. Nah, bad water. Throw that one. Throw that one in the trash. But the other one, Fiji, is good. You can add a little Himalayan salt to that water. Got it?
Okay.
You can add the Himalayan salt to the Fiji water. The other one is Crystal Geyser water. By the gallons, you can go right to BJ. You need to get that water flowing. How much do you weigh? How much do you weigh?
Probably around like 140, 130.
So you got 140. You said 130 or 140?
It's probably 135.
130. Okay, split the difference. I got you. All right, so your number is 67.5 ounces. That's your number for water a day. 67.5, half your body weight in ounces. Divide that by 16.9. That's a bottle, so you're about 4 bottles a day. Got it?
Okay.
16.9 ounces. I would start there first. Get your water right.
Yep.
All right.
All right,
All right, family. That is
man.
it. That is it, Big B.
Great one tonight, Dr. Paul.
Yes.
Listen, guys, listen, as we're about to wrap up, let me just remind you, this is the place to be every Wednesday night right here at the Family Tree. And of course, make sure that you, for those of you who are just in for the first time, if you want to get a copy of tonight's chat, remember, send me an email to meccavideo@gmail.com. That's MECCAVIDEO@gmail.com. That makes sure that you get the information that we've talked about tonight, and as much of it that as we possibly can cover on from the video that's translated into the chat will be there for you, and we'll get it out to you as soon as you request it. Okay.
All right, Big
Yes,
B.
sir,
I think
as we wrap up, guys, just remember, Dr. Paul. Hey, listen, as you support us, guys, keep that coming too. Okay, in order to make sure everything gets right, to send it up to the what is that?
Hey, and I want to thank you all for chiming in. Everybody give yourself a hand for coming in. I hope you learned something today or this evening, right? Did you learn anything? Raise your hands if you said I learned something today. I got something out of it. All right, good. Always a pleasure. And I want to say I'm only going to do one thing, and I'm going to charge you with the truth. And you know what that is? That means you got to go tell somebody. Go tell somebody. Don't sit on this information. You may be telling somebody something that's going to save their life, or maybe someone they know, or maybe even yourself. All right, so share, and we will continuously bring this information to the world. How about that, y'all?
Yes, sir.
All right, I want to say it's been a pleasure. Thank Big B over there, Big Bill Morgan. Let's give him a hand, y'all. And Prophetess over there with her fingers and her magic fingers over there. We thank you so much for doing the typing and things and getting that all. And that will be available on Big B. Give them that again, Mecca Video.
That's meccavideo@gmail.com. Again, Prophetess just put it back in the chat again. That's meccavideo@gmail.com.
All right. And also, you can also go to Dr. Paul Holistic Health Network on Facebook. go into. It's a private network. Send me an invitation that you want to join. I'll bring you in, and you can get all the shows from WURD. We can get the Family Tree, also the Green Hour, and anything that's up to date on what we talking about. All right. Please continue to support us, y'all. We are really trying to keep this thing going. And Big B over there is doing all the production stuff, and he's doing all that stuff and lining up. So any donations that you have, that's going to go towards the production of this family tree to keep it going. All right. So we love you. God bless you. And remember, if you're breathing, you got a shot.
All right. Hey, as we dance going out the door. Hallelujah.
Come on, shake it out, y'all. Come on, check yourself. If you can't hear that music, you better check your pulse. This is a little samba, y'all. Ah, snap, 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 snap. Hey. All right, now we're going to get a little twist. Get it. Twist. Go ahead, relax. And breathe. Good. And you can't leave without tapping it out. Y'all remember tapping it out? I'm going to give you a break because you got a lymphatic drainage if you were following us. So I'm going to give you a break tonight. All right, anybody home? No. All right. God bless y'all. May God keep y'all. We'll see you next week on the Family Tree. All right. Good night, John Boy.
Good night, little Paul.
Oh, good night, little Paul. That's right. Cause little Paul going to bed.
All right, guys.
All right.
Dr. Paul knows I'm always, hey guys, I'm always on. As soon as it's over, I'm on him to make sure he gets the info to us.
And Big B will be posting that really shortly. As soon as he gets it, we'll blow it up on the line. All right?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right. God bless y'all. We'll see y'all later.